ka anyị mara ibe mgbịrịmgba ọnụ gara mmiri ji ama eze. What's up, family and friends? Welcome to the Woke Nation, our nation of factual truth, where we feel free to share knowledge and spread the knowledge of factual truth without fear, without favor, and without faith, where we encourage us to live our lives and live it well through the knowledge of factual truth. And personally, I encourage you to enjoy your life wherever you are. No one has the power over you except you give it to them. And no one can control your life without your consent. That's why see religious people or spiritual people do everything possible to catch you young when your brain was too little to think or to resist things. They made you believe without seeing, and you grew up with that. So they caught you. And now, whatever they taught you still influencing your life, controlling your life. But as I always say, no condition is permanent. You can break that influence over your life today. You can break that control over your life today. You have the power. And that power is knowledge, especially knowledge of yourself. When you know yourself, you begin to know or begin to reason and begin to live that no one has two heads. No one is greater than you. No one. They may be smarter than you in certain areas. There's also areas where you're smarter than them. But whatever their status is in the society does not make them greater than you. You are not below anyone. Don't let anyone make you to continue being a slave of God you have not seen, or slave of men that posing or parading themselves as somehow or someone important, representing God, chosen by God, called by God. They are all impostors. That's why they use lies to influence and control people, because they are not truthful. And that's why somebody like me is here. Somebody that his eyes already open and they saw the truth, factual truth. And they know that knowledge is free and they must be spread freely without any charge. And that's why I'm doing everything, spreading this knowledge to wake you up. If you wake up, you will save yourself a lot of money. You will save your time. You will do yourself huge favor just by waking up, knowing yourself, thinking for yourself, no longer buying invisible products and paying with your visible cash, no war, or your visible time. So I titled this Examine the Scriptures. The reason why I want to share this is because today Facebook show me my post, the memories. They show you up to 11 years back. So the video, one of the videos I saw today was the video I made this day, February 10th, right? 5 years ago, that's 2018. Remember, I told you February 2018 was the last time I trashed everything, spirituality and religion. And when I was listening to the message, I still preaching about the living God, though I was preaching against religion. I was also preaching like I'm not against African spirituality. You know, it is better for Africans to have their own religion than having foreign religion. But that doesn't mean I am practicing African spirituality. I will not attack African spirituality as I do religion because I know it is our thing. But what I'm doing is to make our people to have a rethink. Know that spirituality is not our root. It is our let me say our leaf, not even our branch. It's our leaf. When you consider the tree, the African tree, spirituality is not our root. Science is our root. Powers, there's natural powers, that's our root. But spirituality is not. Spirituality is a belief. It's a religion, and that's why everybody have their own ways of practicing it because whichever way you put it, it works. Even if you use it in Jesus' name, it works. You know, it works for you. When I mean it works, it make you feel like you are doing anything, but it's not working in reality. You cannot use spirituality to solve any problem. It's impossible. Not people solving problem and telling you it's a spiritual thing we are doing spiritual. They are lying. Spirituality cannot solve it. Even the ones that are saying this is our spirituality, look at them. Spirituality cost Africans their science, and we are waking up to recover our science again. We weren't believers. We weren't worshippers. We were builders, not believers. We don't believe builders know what they are doing. They say, "Come, let us make. Come, let us build." They weren't guessing. Okay, let us pray that God will guide us, give us wisdom to build, give us will to know what to do. We have to consult to know what is the will of the gods, will of God. No, they gather themselves. They say, "Come, let us build. Come, let us make name for ourselves. Come, let us make things to build things. Let us make name for ourselves so that we don't scatter like sheep without shepherd. We guide ourselves. We guard ourselves. We live as human beings. Before spirituality came out of people's what? Imagination, based on fear and ignorance. I say fear I see fear as a imaginary danger. People begin to imagine. I imagine there is God or God that created this one. God has created that one. Out of ignorance, they begin to believe also. Then they begin to pass it down to their children, especially to their children. Examine the scriptures. So I begin to see that I preach on that video about Hebrew chapter 2 and other places in the Bible. So I begin to examine again, that's re-examine that Hebrew chapter 2, 14 to 15. I know how zealous I was preaching it. I used to preach from that place a lot. And if you still listen to it today, you will think I'm a Christian. That's why I laugh when I see all these nominal Christians. I call them nominal Christians because they are not genuine as I was. They are there maybe looking for breakthrough, financial breakthrough, breakthrough from family cause. I wasn't into ministry for any of that thing. I wasn't there for money. No, I was just there genuinely doing everything to follow God and be like Jesus Christ, the Son of God. You see? So there, I say many things there, and I deleted it because I don't need it anymore. Anytime I see any post I made as a Christian, I always delete them. Like when people share them, I say thank you for sharing it because if you tell me this person share it, I will go there and delete the post. So please, if you see my old post when I was a Christian like 5 years ago, backward, just like it or comment on it. Facebook will tell me you commented, then I will delete it. Thank you for that. As I said, believers in God or theists, people who believe in God, people who worship God, these people who praise God they have not seen, you see them preaching and teaching what they don't know. Anyone that is preaching of faith don't know what they preach. Anyone that is preaching God don't know what they preach. Especially they are preaching God in lies, that's in their religion, in their belief system. That's where they're preaching God. They don't know what they preach. None of them have seen God at any time. You cannot know who you have not seen. You cannot stand your ground and say, I know whom I have not seen. No. You cannot say that. You must be stupid to say that. And that's what faith does. Faith is stupid. I know in whom I believe. It's a lie. You cannot know who you believe because you believe who you don't know. You believe what you don't know. That's why you believe it. When you see it, you know it. You don't need faith after you see it, after you have known it. You don't need faith. When it requires faith, it's because you lack knowledge of it. So I read Hebrew chapter 2, 14 and 15. He said, inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood, think, as a Christian, you will not think reading this because you are reading or hearing it to obey, not to know the truth. That's what Christians do. That's what Muslims do. That's what Jews do. People of faith, people that believe, religious people, spiritual people, they are reading to obey. They are not reading to know the truth. But listen, he said, inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood. Think about it. Children. Flesh and blood is what make children. God cannot make children. As a Christian, I would not say or think even what I just said now. Because they lie to us that children are gifts from God. The fruit of womb are his reward. It's a lie. Children cannot be given. Children cannot be created. Creature has no life in it. Whatever is created has no life in it, like this mouth. No life. Creatures are programmed. Creatures are conditioned. That's why some of them need a battery. Children are born beings. They are called beings, not beings. Because life is eternal. Life is everlasting. Life is forever. There is no beginning and there's no ending with life. He said he himself, that's Jesus, likewise shared in the same. God cannot share in the flesh and the blood. It's impossible. Imaginary beings cannot share in the flesh and blood. So that's why you should stop believing that somebody is possessed by evil spirit or good spirit. Human beings cannot be possessed. What they do is they convert them. They take over their brain and they begin to behave how they want. Look at people that take sleeping pill or pain pills. They will tell you, Google it. The thing goes to tear your mind. So the pain is still there, but your mind has been shifted not to focus on that pain. That's why it is called pain relief, not pain cure. So he shared in this. This is when a Christian read this and believe it. Oh, Jesus shared in the flesh and blood. I say, yeah, he became sin for us. He became our sacrifice. You know, he stand for us before God. Bullshit. He's our sacrificial lamb. He's our advocate. He's our bullshit. He's our bush dog. He said that true. Here where it gets deep. That true death, not spiritual death. Because what you see theists do, believers do, is this. When they tell you what their God can do, you show them that their God has failed to do that. They said it is not physical, it is spiritual. If it is spiritual, you don't need to share it with physical people. No physical person needs spiritual anything for any reason. You're done. You are not spiritual, you are physical. You are carnal. And you are eternal. You are perfect like that. Nothing is lacking in you. He said, through death, he might destroy. Know especially the words they use. He said that through death, he might destroy him, not destroy it. And when he's talking about him, he says it's him who had, not who have or who has. He said him who had before. That means before he came or before he died, who had the power of death, full of lies, which I will show you, even using their scriptures also. That is the devil. That Jesus, through death, might destroy the devil who had the power of death. Think about it. Who actually had the power of death, if you read the Bible very well, from Genesis. The first person to kill in the Bible, the first person to drown people in the Bible, the first people to bring fire down to consume people in the Bible, who had the power of death. I can use this place to tell you that Jesus destroyed God. You say, what do you mean? Yeah, that's why they tell you that you are no longer under the law of God. You are now under the grace of Christ. See? They know they think they are the only one that can twist the scriptures and use it to take your money. No, I'm not taking your money and doing this free of charge. Who had the power? Who were killing people before Jesus? In the Old Testament, it was God, not devil. Devil killed no one in the Bible. No one. You say, no, you killed children of Job. It's a lie. God did the killing. No one killed in the Bible but God. So God used them. Okay? He said God used them. So they weren't themselves doing that. They were under the influence of God. They were under the power of God, as we believe. But God was he who had the power of death and release or free those who through fear of death. Hear what they say now. Remember, these people were supposed to have fear of God. But now there is another fear that is, they tell you, greater than the fear of God, because they don't want to tell you that fear of God also torments believers. He said that those true who fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. It doesn't matter the fear you have. At least you know. My last video I shared about the greatest delusion. The fear of God is bondage. It's not the beginning of knowledge. It's not the beginning of wisdom. No, every fear torments. Every fear is bondage. It keeps you in bondage. That's what the reason why prisoners will not escape is because of fear. Those that don't fear, they do everything possible to escape. The reason why slaves will not fight for their freedom is fear. That's why they keep giving, teaching them or showing them what will keep that fear intact in them. Molesting them, sodomizing them, lynching them, crucifying them, burning them alive, all that, just to make sure the slaves are too afraid to fight or to rise up, rebel, and free themselves. But hear what he said. He said children, because if you read like verse 13, he said, I and the children whom the Lord has given me. God cannot give you children. God gives no one children. Re-examine what the scripture says. Stop quoting it out of ignorance or out of faith, which is also ignorance. God cannot give children. It must be a man and a woman who must born, not create children. It's natural. No man can tell you I created unless that man is religious or spiritual. And no woman can claim that. We born our children. Gods of the land did not give it to us. God in heaven did not give it to us. We had sex, and that is a natural thing. They born those children through sexual intercourse. Or in these days, they can take a sperm and inject it in a woman, but it must be from man and woman. It can never be from man and man or from woman and woman. Impossible. No matter how powerful you claim to be, or how wise you claim to be now, or scientific you claim to be now. No, it must be male sperm and woman egg that make it possible. It's natural. It's not something you can buy. Not through prayer and waiting on God. Because if God can give children, you don't need marriage or sex. You don't need any opposite sex. If God can give children, these gay people now, we just pray, God will give them children. If God can give children, a woman don't need a man to have sex with to conceive. God will give her children. The woman don't supposed to go through the pain of birth if God can give children. A man don't need to have sex with any woman to have children if God can give children. Analyze, judge, study well your scriptures. Stop studying the scriptures to obey. He says, study to show yourself approved unto God. No, you don't do that. You study to know. Study to know. Stop studying to obey. Stop studying to believe. Study to know. That study to be prudent. Research what you're studying to. Don't believe without examination. Don't believe without seeing. Don't believe without analyzing. Don't believe without observing carefully. Don't believe without observing critically. Judge it critically. Inspect what you are hearing or what you are reading. Inspect what is written. Stop believing that this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. You read it to meditate therein, for you to observe everything written in it, which is impossible. And they tell you, if you observe 9 and fail 1, you have failed all of them. They create impossibility and tell you it's possible. They created invisible God and tell you he is real. It's not real. It can never be possible. You have to judge all things. Oh, I think somewhere in their Bible, is it Thessalonica, I said, prove all things. They don't practice it. But when they say prove all things, they means prove if it's agree with the scriptures. Does it agree with the scriptures? In their book, you see, when they tell you about the Berea brethren, they say these people, after they had Paul, they will go home and search the scriptures to find out if what this guy said is true. But in your own case, because those things are fairy tale, you are a real person. You have to research, you have to test it. Is it true? You mean if I give, it shall be given unto me. God will cause me to have financial abundance. I am giving this day. Then next week or by the end of this week, I want to see God cause me to have financial abundance without me working. Because if God needs you to work for him to bless you, that God does not exist. What makes God God is you without working, he's feeding you. Without working, he's supplying all your needs. It's in their book. My God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. With God, all things are possible. It is in their book. So test it. If with God, all things are possible, don't work. Let's see God provide for you. Let's see God provide for you. You have a child. You say God is the one that gives children, so God can train children too. Don't take care of that child. Let us see God take care of that child. It's impossible. And if your God cannot do that least thing that human being does, what make you think your God exists and you are hating or killing your fellow human being because of that useless God? Research everything. Stop just quoting them. Stop just reciting them. Stop just believing them. Research everything. It is time you begin to investigate, you begin to question formally as to what? To elicit, facts or information. To get the fact of the matter, the main thing, the things that really matter. Not telling you, no, if you believe, blah, blah, blah. No. To get facts. Any truth that does not base on facts, trash it. It doesn't matter where you get it from or who is saying that. If it does not base on facts, trash it. Hear what he said in that book of Hebrew. Hebrew chapter 2, verse 14. He said, through death, Jesus destroyed he who had the power of death. If Jesus died to defeat death, think. When he said to destroy, it means to defeat completely, not have defeated, no, to destroy completely. If Jesus has died to defeat death completely, or he who has power of death to destroy that person, the devil, why do you still today? Why do you still ask God to destroy devil, or you say you're casting out the devil, or devil is disturbing somebody, or devil is using somebody? If Jesus already said he who through death might destroy he who had the power of death. In other words, you're not supposed even to be dying again. If he who has the power of death has been destroyed, why are you still dying? You're talking about spiritual death. So you're talking, unless you're saying that Jesus died spiritual death, it's not real death. He was not put in any tomb. It was a spiritual death. Think when you read. I can use the Bible to show you that it means to kill, it means to end. When you say you destroy, go and wipe them out, destroy, show them no mercy. It's to be defeated completely. Why is this devil still able to do anything in this world if Jesus has destroyed the devil? Ask yourself that question when you are reading or when you are hearing what people are saying. But for me, I know the one who had the power of death. It was God. And Jesus has destroyed him who had the power of death. I am happy for that. That's why you cannot see that God. Jesus has destroyed God. If Jesus through death has destroyed him who had the power of death, then tell me why the thieves still fighting the devil. Jesus cried in John chapter 19 verse 30, it is finished. Everything. But they write Pauline epistle telling you, oh, Paul want to complete what is lacking in the suffering of Christ. What is lacking? No, Jesus said it is finished. And Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith, not Paul, not any other person, not the Pope, not your GO. Jesus is supposed to be the author of your faith. He said it is finished. He came to take away the sins of the world. It is finished. He came to destroy him who had the power of death. It is finished. Yet today, you still are a devil. He said, resist the devil. Oh, let me read it. First Peter chapter 5. Oh, man. Especially prayer warriors. They like this place a lot. Prayer warriors. And that's what makes many parents believe there is devil troubling their child or their son that is smoking weed or that is not listening to them. It's not any devil. 5:8. He said, be sober, be vigilant, because you are adversary the devil, whom Jesus is supposed to have been destroyed. He said, this person that has been destroyed still walks about like a roaring lion. Not even like maybe a sick goat or a sick chicken. No, a roaring lion. seeking who he may destroy. Verse 9, resist him steadfast in the faith, not in reality, knowing that the same sufferings are experienced by your brotherhood in the world. What happened to it is finished? That's what I'm telling you. They tell you Jesus pay it all. You are still paying. If Jesus pay it all, why are you giving offering? If Jesus pay it all, why are you giving tithe? He said to support the work of God. Work of God? A human being supporting work of God? That God is below you. Any God you are supporting his work is below you. That's why I tell you, you are greater than the God you worship. You are greater than the God you believe. Wake up and trust that God. Use your time for yourself. Stop wasting it to the impostors who play God over you. I want you to know, as our ancestors knew, that death is an illusion. Some of you still believe death is the end. Some of you believe still shivers when you hear the news of death. Death. Oh, yeah. No, death does not mean you don't exist. It's an illusion. And you can even learn it from here. What they said in their book. They tell you, no. If you die, you will go to heaven or you go to hell. It's not. It's an illusion. Their book, he said that they said God said to Adam, the day you eat of this fruit, you will surely die. He did not say you will die spiritually. He said you will surely die. That's it. Then the day they ate it, did they die? No. Death is an illusion. You don't die. You don't. When they find out you don't die, they think, okay, we can kill them with arms now. Even if they cut off your head, you don't die. They say this: no spirit leave your body the day you die. Life did not leave your body the day you die. Nothing. Your brain don't die. It's still there. That's why they bury you. You'll be born again. It's called incarnation. In English, some of our people say, me too. They say reincarnation unless somebody else possessing a body, right? So I think it may be different from what we really mean, our people. We know it is you that is coming back. Our people say, you are chi. You are chi. So there's no chi you are going to sacrifice anything to. You are that chi you are talking about. Chi onyo what? You are chi. You are the chi. So let us stop being afraid or be troubled by the news of death. Let not. I'm just talking to most of us because most of us still fear death. We still see death as a loss, as a tragedy, as bad thing, something you should not even discuss about, something you should not even think about, as evil. No, death is natural. It doesn't matter your age. Even if I die now, it's okay, it's great, because I'll be born again. So let not the news of death trouble you again. Think about that. I can walk you through the Bible to show you who actually had the power of death according to Bible. No one had the power of death in reality. No one. Death is not supposed to be you're fighting. The reason why you see people dying is because of all the nonsense they have dumped us with. Believing that, no, I don't want to die, I want to live. No. The same way you want to have a baby, that's the same way you're supposed to want to have death. Die. It's supposed to be celebrated. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 7, I'm showing you now who had the power of death according to the Bible. God said he will destroy all the people he made. He's the one that created them. He said everything he created was good. Then after that, I say, I saw the wickedness of men. All their intention is to do evil. All they are thinking is to do evil. Why? Even my sons went down there and they deceived my sons. My sons sleep with their women and they begin to burn giants. I must destroy them. Who had the power of death? It's God. Also, 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. When Hannah was celebrating, he said that what? God kills. That's what he said. She said. But I like to use that place too. God kills and make it alive. Oh, yeah. God kill it and make it alive. For where? If God kills and makes alive, the Boko Haram will not be killing Christians because God will not allow them to kill them. He will make, even if they kill them, God will make them alive again. It can never happen. How about Deuteronomy 32, verse 39? God is the one that kills. God is the one that had the power of death. So if you say that Jesus has destroyed him, who had the power of death? Jesus has destroyed God. That's another gospel. I'm preaching to you. No, they see if any person preach another gospel. The gospel of Paul is another gospel. It's not the gospel of Christ. Gospel of Christ support the law. Gospel of Paul does not support the law. That's why the day he wanted to pretend that no one still practice the law, they nearly kill him. Because people that practice the law, you can't fool them as you fool people that are under grace. On the law, they say, oh, teach for that. That's the law. You puncture my one eyes, I will puncture your own eyes. That's law. But grace, no, forgive. And Africans fall for that evil trap. The power of the devil can be seen in Luke chapter 4, 5 to 6. What was the power of devil there? Devil said to Jesus on the Mount of Temptation, you see, the authority of this world and his glory has been delivered to me. He did not say, I have power to kill, And he said, I will give it to whoever I want to. So devil was a cheerful giver too. Just devil, according to Bible, is better than God. Bow before devil, he will give you that. You have been bowing before God. Your family have been bowing before God. Nothing is happening. All you have is hope of what? Enjoyment in heaven. But here, nah. You end up serving those you call children of devil. Do you read that place with me? People who subject to lifelong bondage out of fear of death. That's what scriptures does to people who believe them. That's what God does to people who believe them. They subject you. You become their slave through fear. You become slave through fear of God. You become slave through fear of death. You become slave through fear of the unknown. Why do you see all these con men exploiting people and taking advantage of them? Because they have this fear. Fear of the unknown. I don't know what will happen. Fear of death. I don't want to die. Fear of sickness. Fear of disease. Fear of God. They take advantage of you. If you don't have fear, they will be coming to your house and say, is everything all right? We don't see you anymore because you don't have fear anymore. You cannot anywhere, anytime you see me in the house of any native doctor, it's either I am going there to find out what they're doing and tell them what I'm supposed to tell them. Or maybe I found out the real one that can fortify me. Yes, I will go there and get it. They have faith and belief. And that's why they have fear. Faith and beliefs are rooted in fear. When you read a place like Romans chapter 11, verse 20, he said, now you have been saved. Live by faith. Don't be proud, say you have been grafted into the vine. Okay, don't be haughty, but fear. You are saved by faith to fear. You fear God. You fear going to hell. You fear losing heaven. You fear sickness. You fear devil. You are saved by grace through faith to fear. And that fear torments you. Nothing torments believers like fear. Look at the real serious believers. They are not happy people. They cannot be happy because their joy is in the scriptures, not in the world, not in reality. So even when they see where they're supposed to be happy and enjoy their life, they, no, I don't want to sin against God. It's like a Catholic, all these Catholic grandmothers. Let's say their granddaughter going to marry somebody from Anglican or another church. She will be inside the room the day of traditional marriage. She's not coming out. If she come out, that small boy in the parish will give him pain. Will give her penance. Fear. I want you to know that it is only the knowledge of factual truth that will make you speak fast and not fear God. They want you to fear God, don't. Knowledge. That's why they say knowledge puffs up. I think in Corinthians, as a Second Corinthians 6 or First Corinthians 6, he said that knowledge puffs up, and they say love edifies. It's a lie. Love keep you in bondage. Knowledge puffs up. Love make you humble. Okay, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, no, I can't love my evil neighbor as myself. Why? No, I hate my enemies. He said that through this death, he released those who all their lives subject to bondage, which is a lie. No Christian, no Muslim, no Jew, no religious person, no spiritual person is free from bondage. Faith keeps you in bondage. Belief keeps you in bondage because you believe the lie. Worshippers are not free from bondage because worship is bondage. You deny yourself your comfort, what you're supposed to do for yourself because you want to worship one thing. The place you're supposed to go and have fun, you're not going because you want to go and worship one thing. I want you to know this. The religious activities is what keep people in bondage. That's bondage. The time early morning you're supposed to relax sleeping, you wake up, you begin to pray. There's spirit. The time you're supposed to chill, use your brain, refresh about the business of the day, and begin to plan how to go about it tomorrow. You use it to go to Bible class, go to church activities, to mosque activities, religious activities. It is time you trash all those religious or spiritual activities. Begin to use your time and resources on yourself. Our people said, what you eat is actually what you have. Even the one you give to other people is a loss. If I tell you now, you will not, many of you will not want to get it. When they tell you give to the poor, that is wrong. In nature, you don't give to the poor because no one is poor in nature. It's after they destroy our African family structure, they begin, that one that brought the word that create poverty and poor people. And that's why they don't want you to solve the main problem. So they tell you to give to the poor. When you give to the poor, you have given to the Lord. Which Lord? The Lord did not give me. I labor to make this money. So you are giving to this poor. He said, I'm lending to the Lord. And he says, when I die, that's when I will have treasure in heaven to enjoy. Religious activities. Many of you that claim to be awakened still falling for that religious activities. You give in to whoever beg you, you give to them. The money you will use to help yourself, you give to somebody that say they believe in God that provides. Oh shit. How can you tell me you are a native doctor and a Christian come to your shrine and you are charging them the same amount you are charging people that are not Christians, people that are ordinary people? No, you're supposed to be charging them more. Anyone that said they believe in God of Israel, they come to your shrine, they have family problem, they call you. You're supposed to charge them, even let them sell their land to bring money for you so that you can live well. That's how their pastor is living better than you that is native doctor. But this one, at least, you are not taking it from your people that you know they support your traditional something. But those that are against traditional stuff and are now sick, prayer have not solved it, hospital did not solve it, now they are coming to you. You're supposed to charge them more. Anyone I meet that have thought of, I charge Christians more. I'm talking about our people because most of our people are Christians. They are oh, my business is not going to do. Politicians, they go, all those native daughters that are making this for politicians and are not living well, they are stupid. Those native daughters are stupid. Supposed to be living well. Off of them. Not even one-time payment. You say, okay, I will bring, and every time you'll be coming, bringing me so amount of money. You see how they're fighting against Okite? Okite, you are fighting. Why are you fighting against it? Why are you? If it's working, even to some people, why is that your business? Without Okite, what have the government done for you in that place? And you are talking, don't you know what people are going through? You're talking about your generation with someone. Fuck that. Which generation are you talking about? Generation is nonsense people made up. We all human beings, we are here naturally. That's why you see yourself killing yourself because you don't have a child. You don't need anything to anyone to carry your name. Once you die, your children don't even know you anymore. That's why they try to put everything to okay, 1 year anniversary, 10 years anniversary. You remember who are you remembering? Somebody that already no longer maybe has been born again, and you are still saying you're remembering what? Think about it. How can you say you believe that person go to heaven or that person will be reincarnated, and you're observing those nonsense? You're not thinking, man. And that's what faith and belief make us. The reason why I'm thinking like this now is because I'm no longer a believer. When I was a believer, all I was thinking is about scripture. That's where my head was. But I'm happy that I gained that knowledge. I have that knowledge today. There's no preacher of the Bible that will come before me and stand. I will use the same Bible they have to watch them. Even when I was a Christian, some of them, they are bigger than me in ministry. They are, but when I quote one place in the Bible, where is it? I show them. Because I devoted my time studying the Bible for it to become part of me. I see it as a word of my God. I was not studying it to preach. And when you see any message I prepare, you tell me to preach like 10 minutes. I don't know. You know how many scriptures I will put on that one thing? Before I finish reading it 1 hour ago. And you see this one already past 45 minutes. You may get up to 1 hour if I'm still reading the Bible there. Jesus did not relieve you from any bondage. He did not free you from any bondage. You even put yourself in more. In Jesus' name, you are going to church. In Jesus' name, you are carrying Bible. Things Jesus never even said in the Bible you should be doing. You are doing them. Bowing before men as your spiritual fathers. Bowing before women as your spiritual mothers. Things Jesus never asked you to do. Yet you claim you are following Jesus of the Bible. Come on. Look at people that followed Jesus genuinely. They become atheists. Look at people that believe and worship God genuinely. They become atheists. They become unbelievers. Because they find out this thing is not working. It's not true. It's not true. All that they say it will come to pass is a lie. It's not coming to pass. You have to continue lying to yourself to continue believing. They are not free to do their own will, which is their own knowledge, what they know. They are not free to live their own life. They live by faith, which is ignorance, and not by sight, which is knowledge. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. And you still see grudges, grown adults bragging, I live by faith. It is only by faith you know God. Idiot. You have not seen God. No amount of faith will make you know God. And I will use the same your Bible to show you that you don't know God who you worship. Galatians chapter 4. Yeah, let me show you. For those people, if anybody tell you, oh, they know God through the scriptures or through faith, show them. It's impossible for you to know God. This is how they put it in Galatians. Galatians chapter 4, 5 to 7. Remember when I was preaching like against holidays and Christmas, I used to use this place. Galatians chapter 4. Where am I? Oh, 8 to 11, sorry. 8 to 11. Galatians chapter 4, it says, but then indeed, when you did not know God, there is no time anybody has known God. When you did not know God, you served those which by nature are not gods. If you see a lot of message that just come out from this place, just reading it, I will make the post out of them too, and I will say things about them. Which by nature are not God's. If you are following nature, if you are a natural being, you are not God's. It were the Greeks that came and saw Africans living powerfully as natural people and said they are gods. And they begin to worship Africans. Africans never see themselves as gods and goddesses. No, those things are strange. They later come. And that's what they came with spirituality. In nature, nobody is God. In nature, there is no God. Here, which by nature are not gods. But now, after you have known God, hear what he said. After you have been known God, that's after you have been born again. He said, oh, because it's a lie. You cannot say you have known God. He said, now, after you have known God, or rather, are known by God, whichever way you put it, it's a lie. You don't know God and you are not known by any God. God does not exist. He said, or rather, you don't know God, is rather God, you are known by God. He said, how is it that you turn again to the weak and beggarly elements, to which you desire again to be in bondage? Religious activities, church activities, spiritual activities, all of them are being in bondage. Come on. He said, you observe days and months and seasons and years. The things that keep you in bondage. Those things are bondage. Wish me a happy birthday. You are living in bondage. Wish me this. You are living in bondage. You are not living in reality. You are not free. You have to free yourself. Stop observing days, months, weeks, years. No. What you have is this day. This day, live your life and live it naturally. You are not God, you are both God. By nature, no one is God except by illusion. Anyone that say he is God or she is goddess, that person is speaking out of illusion. Religion, which is faith in God or belief in God, is lifetime bondage. That's why I call it greatest delusion. Greatest delusion that keep people in lifetime bondage. I believe there is God. Against every reason, against every logic, against every fact, against every truth, I believe in God. I am calling you to use your head, activate your brain, engage your brain. I want you to critically examine the scriptures, whether it's Quran, whether it's Torah, whether it's Bible, whatever book it is, spiritual Bible, religious Bible, critically examine them. Don't just believe what they say. Don't live by it is written. Live by I know. Live by it is proven, not it is written. Think, my people. Don't. You have to seriously, critically examining what the scriptures they wrote or what you hear. When you critically examine the scriptures or what you hear, it will open your eyes. I want you to be like Eve. Don't be like Adam. Be like Eve. She looked at the tree and she began to engage her brain and said, this tree is good for food and pleasant to make one wise. Hey, and which idiot say I should not eat it? She take and ate it, her eyes open. I am naked. She covered herself. You don't need God. Once your eyes is open, you don't need God for any direction, for any guidance. In fact, you will run away from God. That's one of the benefits of knowledge. Knowledge will separate you from God because God is the lie. You will no longer associate with lies. You begin to trust them. The knowledge. When you critically examine the scriptures or what you hear, it will open your eyes and deliver you from bondage. The greatest bondage is belief in God or God. Trust it. Knowledge will deliver you. And you are the one that will go after that knowledge. Examine whatever they wrote, examine whatever you hear. Don't just swallow it, don't just believe it. And you will see how free you will live. Free yourself. There's no one who is coming to free you. You are the only one that can free yourself. I see you free yourself. I'm happier seeing many people today, speaking against spirituality, against religion, against God, against all this religion. I am so happier. Keep the great work going. The truth shall prevail, and Africans will be free again and take their rightful place in the globe. God.